Abdul-Jabbar is present. Student Representative Naomi.
Got kicked out of the call.
Huh?
She got kicked off out of the call.
Okay, when she comes back, I will see if she's present or not.
She's back.
She's back. Perfect. Student Representative Naomi.
Present.
Present. Student Representative Naomi is present. And the Progressive Democrats?
Well, either Sociology or Progressive Democrats is here.
Is here or is not here? Did I hear it right?
Present.
Okay, perfect. And Chair, may I ask you just a quick question, if you may?
Yes.
Were you able to send out the link to the ARC Engineering Club and PSA, if I'm saying it right? And,
no, I haven't. That was the issue, is I don't have their contact. This thing got switched online, so.
Yeah. Would it be possible to send them an email real quick? Because I know they have been present in every meeting.
Do you have their email?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Well, I have their email. You just need to let me know that you want me to send them the stuff, because I have the new roster, but I'm still just finalizing the new stuff. But I can, if you send me what you need me to send them right now, I can send a quick email right now.
Mario, that'd be awesome. You send them the link for this right here.
Yeah, but just moving forward, like whoever your communications person is, I can send it like Thursday before the next week, so that way they know in advance, so it's not like last minute for them.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mark, are we recording?
Yes. Is it not showing recording? It
Not
shows,
for me.
yeah, I see recording on my side.
I see it as
It's
well.
probably it's just in mine then.
Okay.
Just wanna check.
Awesome. Aisha has quorum been met, so awesome. We'll go ahead and move on to next item. If I can pull up my agenda. So there we go. So all right. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next item. It's adoption of the agenda. Everybody had a chance to look over the agenda. Yep. And then move on to the next item as approval of the minutes. Aisha, you did send the minutes out to everybody. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. And I apologize for it being sent very late. I'll send it right after the meeting today for today's minutes.
Thank you. And we had a chance to look over the minutes. Okay, hearing and seeing no objections, we'll go ahead and approve the minutes for 10-6. Chair's message. So, all right, welcome guys. Sorry about all the confusion. As you know, Brett's not here. Mario's filling in, so we're going to be switching to this new Zoom thing. So this will be the same one for C.A.E.B, and then Student Senate has their own ID as well. So in the future, this will be the same exact meeting ID. It won't change. I've already set it up so that way they have reoccurring meetings every Tuesday with the same one. I just also want to mention Aisha is doing an amazing job connecting with Scott Crow. That's awesome. That was pretty cool that we have our own little spot now on IG. So good job on there. What else? So I was also able to attend a 4-hour webinar last week about adult learning. I also spoke at the webinar. It was pretty interesting. I'll get into some details later on that one right there. And that's as far as I have for the chair's message. So we'll move on to advisor's message. Mario.
So welcome everybody. I'm filling in for Brett. Just working on. I had a meeting with like a company that does online events for us, like in case we wanted to do club stuff. So I'll be sharing like the video demo, just so I don't take up time here, but love to set up a meeting with whoever is interested in this demo. Like obviously it costs money for us to do it every month, but it's a virtual platform where there's like booths. So you pay like $15 for each booth, and people can go in and do one-on-one chats. You can upload videos of all the clubs or just things. So since we're going to be remote, I've been kind of trying to find what online platform besides Zoom would be helpful for us to navigate just virtual events. So if we wanted to do like different vendors to come or whatever, like someone could just click the vendor and then they'll go and approve them, and then they can chat with them virtually one-on-one. We could sell stuff online, a lot of different things. We're trying to do that just because we're trying to figure out how to do more virtual events. But that's about it. I've been meeting with clubs to register the club. So we've been meeting and having Zoom calls on the phone, and everybody's been just typing in their information. So hopefully by the end of this month, I'll have a updated club list with all the clubs. So we should be hopefully by 25 is my goal by the end of this month. And then hopefully by the end of November, we'll be at least at 40. And then by the end of January, we'll be back at 50 like we were last year. And that's about it. Oh, and then I'll be sending a link today. There's a conference going on this Friday or Saturday that I just found out. It's for all community colleges, UCs, and CSUs. They're having a leadership conference, and one of their speakers is going to be Alicia, which is one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter. And they're going to be having a law student that's undocumented from CSU Long Beach. That'll be their keynote speaker. So it'll be free to all the students. You just have to be a student leader, which all of your student leaders. So I'll send that out maybe to Aisha. So we could put the link in the minutes if you all want to join this conference. It's Friday and Saturday, but it's all free. And they have cool workshops.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mario. Appreciate it. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to next item on the agenda, which will be public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the clubs and events board on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items on the agenda. The ASB Clubs and Events Board may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact ASB C.A.E.B President for the item of discussion to be placed on future agenda. At this time, is there any public comment? Okay. Hearing none and seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to appointments and swearing in. Don't have any appointments and swearing in. Move on to the next item, which is unfinished business. Don't have any unfinished business. We'll move on to next item would be new business, which would be 10.1 adult learning events. This time shall be reserved to discuss and potentially take action on creating an event to support adult learners. This is briefly what I wanted to talk about. I was able to, let me grab my notes real quick. I was able to attend a 4-hour webinar specifically targeting about adult learners. I want to create this, and I know we've talked about this. I want to create this along with Student Senate as well, a one-stop shop. The website is astronomically amazing. Naomi is launched that, spearheaded that. Maybe create a section where it's like a hyperlink tree. We can use it so that way they can access all departments, mental health, basically just a one-click. We're going to try to generate traffic to the website. That's my goal. So then that way everybody can go straight to just this one page, and they can be able to access mental health and such. Any thoughts or feedback on that one?
Like, what's the definition of adult learner? I mean, because our campuses
25 and older is what they considered an adult learner was 25 and older. I want to create some type of outreach for adults. A lot of adults have this fear of going to college with a younger generation, and that was something that they spoke about and something that they asked me to speak about. I don't have this fear of going to college with the younger generation, but I'm 37 years old, so I'm kind of a little bit older. but that was something that we discussed, and then yeah, I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm waiting for them to send. As soon as they send it, like the whole bunch of webinars that these copies of the webinars and stuff like that, so I can send that out.
To get data just for ARC or those Rios to see our student population, to see if that demographic is there, like to see if at ARC 50% of our students are 25 and older or whatnot, you know, just so you can get a better idea of like who are we serving.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that information off the top of my head. Like we talk a lot about race and ethnicity, right? Like 30% of campus is Latinx, you know? Like we have those percentages and female, male, rationale. So I'd be curious to see, you know, how many students, because you have to realize we also attract a lot of dual enrollment students. So we have a lot of high school students as well. We also have a lot of like apprenticeship programs. So I wonder if that, you know, is right out of high school, is that like, you know, right out of college? Because we just have so many programs at ARC that I'm like, ooh, I wonder what our average age would be.
Yeah. And I do wonder that. I do wonder what our average age group is at ARC, and not necessarily ARC, but the district itself. You know, do we have a large number of adult learners, and adult learners, like it says, 25 and plus, or are we more generated to the younger generation, or geared to the younger generation? You know, so that was. I'm trying to find the other one real quick. Yeah, so they really talked about the one-stop shop thing, and as we are transitioning, or as we are online, and a lot of technology issues was happening with learning, especially with adults, like certain older adults didn't know anything about technology and how to use a laptop, and that was a problem that they've seen a lot, was the older generation being able to not use technology. So I wanted to see if that was an issue with our students, and if it is, then what can we do? Was there any webinars that we can provide to ARC to help with technology issues? You know, so that was something that I wanted to kind of look into. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that as far as what the adult learning thing is, or any suggestions on how we can reach out to our older crowd of adult students, learners?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Something I have noticed a lot, sorry for the background noise, that a lot of ESL student, like I've been really active on campus. I see that a lot of like the older people are usually either ESL students, and maybe if we could target, like if we want to start this one-stop shop, and if we want to like if we want student engagement, we would go to like basic classes, if you understand what I'm saying, like beginner classes, and reach out to professors. We're gonna need to do a little like more deep research, because it's still like up in the air, like the whole idea, but I think it's really important that we're doing this. So I realized maybe reaching out to professors and asking them if they could help us get student engagement, like with older students.
Yeah. No, I like that. I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
Chair.
Yes.
I was going to say, speaking as one myself, which much older than you, things like social media and Google Docs, and even like, some of them, if you use a word like listserv, they probably don't know what you mean. But when you start dealing with like Discord or Twitter or, any of those, I'm just like, okay, I just don't participate. So if they had some, workshops on that.
All right. Yeah. And I know that's going to be something that, like I said, is a transition. I'm, like the little older generation, but I'm familiar with Discord, and like, like as you were stating yourself that you're not. So you might have a an issue accessing it, and if we all transition to Discord, that we don't want to be, we don't want to exclude anybody. We want to make sure that all the older generations or people that have questions on this stuff have easily have accessibility to do it. That was a good point that you mentioned about Discord and such. So yeah.
I think there's also like I don't know how everybody feels, but like saying older student is kind of like I don't know how appropriate in my head.
Okay.
I think like in grad school we use traditional versus non-traditional student maybe,
So
or
you use that terminology instead, traditional and non-traditional?
but I don't know how everybody feels. Like I mean, I think older student or I don't know, it just sounds like I mean, not it doesn't sound ageist, but I think we have to be like inclusive or like use a term. But I don't know, it could just be me because when I'm like older, people define older by it could be an 18-year-old thinking someone that's 23 could be older, right? So
Right.
I think we also just need to I don't know what the proper terminology. I know in grad school I use traditional versus non-traditional students. So a non-traditional student. I've also heard campuses where I worked that use mature students as well. But I think I know on YouTube with Scott Crow, they do some of these little demo videos like how to log into your e-services, or the tutoring center might provide some of these tools, or IT. So I think it would be good for us to look at what our departments are also currently doing to do it. Because I mean, especially now with technology, I feel like a lot of students that mature students or non-traditional students, like they'd have to adjust to obviously being on an online platform as well. So I'm sure there's like things already there, but I don't know how everybody feels about terminology. Like what if they called someone, like a young kid or something, because we're using the
Right.
term young and
I want
old.
to make sure that I'm not offending or anything like that. So I'll definitely make sure we try to look up the terminology and use the correct terminology to address them.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that
Carrot,
up, Mario. Yes.
can I add something?
Yeah.
Just like what Mario said. So maybe instead of grouping people, instead maybe we could maybe work on making those videos just like what Scott is doing. So if we think that maybe something that is confusing, maybe something that could apply to all ARC students. So if we think there's like difficulty accessing like the mental health page, maybe we could create a video and share on our social media page, and any student that needs it will see it. And maybe we could like, if there's like big concerns with use of technology or other like Canvas or other stuff that might be really, really confusing, we could like send out even those videos to professors or departments, and they could share it on their page. That way it's like it includes everyone.
Okay. I like that. May I
Chair.
ask? Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if it's on social media, I won't see it. But I would avoid the term mature, because that's saying that the students who aren't there are immature.
I was
So
just thinking that.
maybe I can check
It's very
with
difficult.
the gerontology department and see if they have, there's sometimes they use things like seasoned or,
Yeah, if you could please and just kind of send me an email, that would be amazing.
okay.
Yeah. But I
And
think if our
may I
average
ask?
age of student is like 35, for example, at ARC, then there isn't an age gap. Like I think like I've worked at like some private schools that are like all kids come right out of high school. So then we did use the term non-traditional because it means it's not a path from high school right to college.
Right.
And I think at this community college, what I'm noticing is there's a wide range of ages that we have. So I think like we just need to use a term, I think, that is more inclusive, because I do see a lot of students that don't come straight from high school to the community college.
Right.
So we just have to use a term, I think, that's inclusive. But then you're right. Like, I think even when we have these conversations, we always say, go to like your Instagram or your Facebook, but we know that a lot of students don't have this. Like even when I've done a lot of programs, we don't make it mandatory for people to add us on Facebook or Instagram. We have them take a picture with Bucky the Beaver because they could take a picture because they don't have social media. So I think we also have to be like, when we say, oh, we posted this on social media, well, what about the student that doesn't have social media? We have to
Right.
find another outlet. Or if we tell them to go to our website, where are we advertising the website? If it's on social media, but they don't have access, then we're never going to capture that audience.
Right.
We're only going to get the students that have social media if we just use social media.
Totally agree with Mario.
So we need to find like different ways, like to, I don't know if there's like a email blast we can create because people are checking their emails, or, you know, like that could be maybe like a campaign we can, you know, work with maybe student government on how do we get, or I think someone mentioned at the last meeting, a newsletter, but we need to find, if we're going to focus on non-traditional students, we need to also find other means outside of social media to connect with them as well. Or maybe we go into the classroom and, you know, we have professors give us tips. We're going to have to use different tactics.
And I think departments would be, because I know like EOPS, for example, would send out letters for the student that are already included in the roster. So I was thinking about reaching out to departments that already have that connection with students. And that way, because they already probably deal with the same issue that not everyone uses social media. So they probably already maybe have other solutions, and maybe we could like see what they're doing.
That'd be awesome. Naomi, may I ask, when you sent the email out about technology barriers or anything like that, did you get any feedback on that, as far as like people having issues with technology and stuff?
I didn't get any feedback on it yet. I was really hoping to. I have one thing, but that was before I sent the email, kind of what set the email in motion, set the whole process in motion. But I mean, that one wasn't was more focused on like internally on what's happening in A.S.B, right? I only sent it to A.S.B members, but yeah, you know, and I think in our current A.S.B or at least in this current setup, we have more traditional students right now.
Okay, yeah,
So
and I noticed.
Yeah, it wouldn't be completely reflective of the ARC community.
Right, and I noticed, and I see that with our senators and our ASB, that we have more, you know, students who are technology savvy. You know, so that's like I said, we want to make sure it's inclusive to everybody, and I want us to have that you know, there's 60, 70, 100 people, you know, in public, you know, wanting to know what are we doing as student leaders for our fellow constituents, you know, like what are we really doing? Are we just meeting every week and just talking, or are we actually, you know? So that's something, you know, it's kind of offside of adult learners, but I just want to make sure that the adult, you know, community can be, you know what I'm saying, included into you know, non-traditional students or traditional, you know, it's a terminology like you, Mario, and everybody was stating. So if I'm open to feedback, is completely open to feedback on terminology and what to say and what not to say. I definitely don't want to overstep any boundaries or make anybody upset with, you know, with them getting offended. Let's just put it that way. Any other ideas on how we can reach our traditional crowd of students? No? Okay. All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which I think is we're gonna have to change it. Yeah, so if I may, I need to clerically change the name from the mental health work group to the self-care day. Mental health, I don't know why I put that there for item 10.2. So I want to talk about the self-care day. I know we've been talking about it. Aisha, I think, is going to help write a bill, and we're going to get together with Mario and Brett so we can do that. Did anybody come up with any other ideas on self-care, on like any type of ideas we can do? No.
So I think we already, like, for self-care, since
Yeah.
this is if I'm wording it correctly, Mario, that it's like a collaboration between C.A.E.B and the CLD. There's already like Zumba classes, and
Yeah.
I heard that Mario already has a clear picture of how self-care will be. So there isn't much to add to it, but more of actions to take,
Yep.
like writing bills and taking it to Senate, because C.A.E.B doesn't have the budget for it. I think we just need we just need to like put it on paper and say this is when we want to have the Zumba class. Then we want to work on the bill, then get approved by Senate. Then we want to advertise it to student. I think that would be that's, in my opinion, what should happen.
Aisha, we as C.A.E.B, we actually do have the budget for it. For what he's requesting, we have it. Because we're not spending money on anything else. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we have just a little over $10,000 for C.A.E.B.
Okay.
So if you want to assist in writing the bill, so then that way we can get it up on the thing. So that way we don't have to wait for another week. Naomi, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Can we request for a special meeting to get if we create a bill like ASAP, so it's not pushed off till next week?
I mean, yeah, you can create a special meeting. I think I don't remember how. You still need to post it in advance sometime.
Right.
It's not 72 hours, but I forget how much
I
it
think
is.
it's 24 hours if I'm not mistaken.
I think it might be 24 hours. But yeah, you can definitely have something this week.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to push it off and keep going. Mario, if you are available after this call, to possibly to talk. Oh, I know Brett's not going to be available. We have the money in C.A.E.B budget, so I don't want to have to keep pushing it off. Like, Aisha was stating, action. We got to let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I know Mario. I was trying to find the vendor packet. All Brett told me that it was online on the website. I've searched the website. Naomi, do you have by chance a copy of a vendor packet?
No, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I just don't know how to like do all of your billing. Your billing seems to be very different than how I use my CLD account, because you all have to have some type of minutes or something that you all voted on it, versus like when I like spend money from our CLD budget, the process looks a little different. So if I can just, I guess, if we can get clear guidance, but all the suggestions for the self-care are just suggestions. Like if people don't like doing Zumba, which is just like a dancing, working out, we can do like meditation, we could do yoga. The goal was just really to use the same vendors each week, just so we don't have to repay people,
Right.
in advance. And then that way we could just cut a check for 4 weeks for that person.
So, do you know how, is it easier to transfer internal?
I don't know if I think your accounts are like a different funding source. So I don't think I don't know if you're able to transfer it to our CLD account, but we can look
I
into
think,
it.
didn't we do that last semester, Mario? Didn't we do that when you threw an event, and then we were able to, as long as we had the minutes and we voted on it and everything was still legit, like how we're supposed to. I thought it was a little bit easier to transfer internal than it is to.
I can ask business services, because another thing we could probably do is within the CLD, I wonder if y'all can just write a check C.A.E.B to CLD and then we deposit it into our account. So I
That's
wonder
something maybe I'll send Brett an email.
Yeah.
I think there's refund. You refund the money to the CLD. So after the bill get approved, somebody usually pays for it. So that happens with the winter committee. So what Fong did is she used the card. She didn't pay for it. She just put a card there, and later on, when the check was available, they just gave it to her. I think there's gonna be like a kind of refund, something like that.
Yeah, we could also do like a purchase order, but since we're not purchasing things, I think it's just a matter of like the dancer or the Zumba instructor being okay with like getting a check sent to them as well.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
if you could follow up, Mario, and find out if the vendor is okay with, possibly having to wait, to receive the check in order to do it, that'd be awesome. Just because I don't want it to wait another 2-3 weeks before us to do it. I know we can create a special meeting ASAP to at least allocate the money, and then like fire it straight off from there. Of course, we want to make sure that we do it all.
Yeah, let's just get it approved first.
Yeah.
So that way we at least have the minutes to back us up that we can move forward. I think.
Okay. So, Aisha, I think you're going to insist on writing the bill, or
Yes. As long as I know the amount and what is it going to be
2,500.
used for. Yeah, if you could send me those
Yeah.
information, then I could easily write the bill.
Yeah, sure. That'd be awesome. Yeah, because I really want to kick something off, and I want to make sure that we're not just doing something and it's just going to be for us internal. I want to make sure that we try to get this out to all the students. I know if by putting it on the ARC's actually, the ARC's IG, and possibly having Scott send an email out to the whole entire student population, that might spark, that little fire to get student engagement. My main thing that I've always been trying to do is just student engagement and trying to include our fellow students into events. Like, we're not doing club day, so we need to create some type of virtual club day. Like warming your hearts. We have Mario has these bags, and I don't know how many, if he still has any more, but we have the drawstring bags. We can give swag that I purchased off of the PR team for last semester for C.A.E.B. I have two more boxes of water bottles in the storage that say, with the logo on it. So they're wasting away. I just want to be able to try to reach out to our students and give them out. So if anybody thinks of anything else as far as that, let me know. Send me an email so that way we can try to figure it out.
Maybe for a while, last semester we had was it Your Voice, Your Value event?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember after that I was very curious as to how to get that student engagement, just because we noticed obviously a lull in like we saw in the beginning when there was food and everything, we were getting a lot of student engagement, and then once it all ran out, so did the student engagement. So we were thinking of like different ways of getting students there. So we were talking about doing some kind of raffle at that time, and I'm wondering if that can translate at all to now.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I like that.
And like to enter the raffle, you need to do some, like you have some kind of task or whatever. So you don't need to purchase, raffle tickets or something. But
Right.
yeah.
So kind of like I think there was one, if I'm not mistaken. I think didn't we have a treasure hunt on campus? But since we're obviously not on campus, we can do a virtual treasure hunt where they can virtually search stuff, and then they can enter into the raffle that way. We can create virtual tickets for free, for just to get them in. All the main focus is engagement, just getting them to get involved.
I wonder, instead of doing like something like the treasure hunt, the virtual treasure hunt, that could be more. That's like kind of I would think requires more tech savviness.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's just like taking like how Mario talked about before, they take a picture of, he said they took a picture with Bucky, but they take a picture of some like task we have them like have at home, like some contest or whatever, and then email it or send it somehow, and then you know, that's how they're entered into the raffle kind of thing.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I think one
Anybody
of
else
the,
have any? Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say one of the things also, I think, since you're all C.A.E.B, I know you work with Student Senate, is also like as C.A.E.B, like you also need to figure out what is it that your clubs need, right? Like I think like um, they're already gonna be giving you answers because their clubs are meeting. Like I know, I've been invited to a couple clubs to come and just speak and talk to them about how to get involved. So I would say try to figure out a way how you can all outreach to the clubs and see what they're doing as well. I know right now Latinos Unidos and all that, we're talking about like the Dia de los Muertos. So they're going to be working on, stuff for Dia de los Muertos that's coming up. So I don't know how we can make those relationships stronger. Like maybe that we do like a focus group or something, because I know the clubs are doing stuff as well, but instead of figuring out what are they doing for student engagement, we can reach out to them as well to figure out what that looks like. But I don't know what that, like all these questions I think are good, but imagine if we had the presidents or the vice presidents to give you those answers. They can tell you what's working and what's not working as well, instead of you having to always outreach to new people. That's the cool thing about that's different between, for me, C.A.E.B and Student Senate. Student Senate it's appointed people, versus C.A.E.B it's like it's all these clubs, and usually sometimes I know I got to meet a lot of like new members because not always the same person kind of came. So maybe we create a little small club. Hey, what do the clubs need? What kind of program? It could be so many different things.
I like that. I like that. It's more of focusing on club engagement,
Yeah.
and maybe having a special meeting with like all the presidents and vice presidents of the clubs, inviting them to come and kind of like, this is your president of this club, meet the president of this club. More of how can we help each other out?
Yeah, because I did that for all of our club orientations, and I had 27 clubs show up to do the orientations, and they all got to meet other presidents from other areas. And I say this just because I think like some clubs might not know the difference between Student Senate and C.A.E.B. So I think like just, it could just be the same meeting, or they don't know how they can like for example, the new clubs that I've been meeting, they didn't know they could apply for $100 scholarship as a new club, right? Or some of the clubs that I've been meeting, I'm like, well, you can go to C.A.E.B and ask for funds, and they're like, oh, how do we do that? So maybe focusing on like, how do we make these resources that C.A.E.B has that's available to them? Because some clubs just, they just want resources, or they want to understand. And a lot of the clubs that students that I've been interacting with, they're like, oh, well, I have a meeting on Tuesday. They're like, well, are the minutes available where? So maybe, we just need to figure out what that communication with the club presidents, vice presidents, and the treasurers could be, just so that way they know. I usually just always refer them to Mark, but what if it's not a Mark question and, Aisha needs to get involved? How do we, do that as well? So
Yeah.
just want to put that
I
out.
would definitely want to do that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me brainstorm on that one. Instead of not necessarily, not targeting towards, student engagement, but I need to get the club involved. So that way we know what clubs are, I know I want to actually mention these clubs, real quick, if I may, kind of go a little off topic, so that way these clubs can officially be chartered. All I got to do is, correct me if I'm wrong, but all I have to do is announce the clubs that have officially been completed their orientation and paperwork and grade checks and stuff like that, then they're officially chartered, correct? Aisha,
Yes, so during the ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
you would just say the club names and like welcome to C.A.E.B, just like how you did last time with the clubs, like the list that you had, and you did it during the section ceremony. So that's all you got to do after you know that they have been chartered.
Okay, and I think we're up to date, because what I have on my thing is 23 Mario, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say you had 23 clubs that were done with the orientation and paperwork and such?
Well, they did orientation, but not all of them have filed yet. The ones that filed, I could send it. I can copy and paste it.
Okay. I just want to get them chartered so that way they're officially recognized under us and C.A.E.B and such, so that way they're fully done. So if I have to, I'm gonna postpone that off until next week.
I just send you in the chat the list of the ones that I've already checked GPAs. There's 4 more clubs that I'm waiting to do GPA and unit verification.
Okay, so
those are the ones that are already everything's good to go.
Okay, let me put that over here. All right, awesome. All right, anybody else have any ideas, feedback, or anything in regards to item 10.2 besides let's just actually creating action and doing it? No. Control V. All right, Mario, I'm gonna try to find the vendor packet so that way we can get those vendors filling out the paperwork so they can get approved. I only found a couple pieces on the website. I had I don't know where it went, but I had an actual PDF of the vendor packet because I needed it for DJ Eddie Z. That's where it's at. I'm gonna go search his email. That's where it's at. Cool. I'm glad I just remembered that. So that way I'll send that to you, and then we can go ahead and get that rolling. So then that way when it's time to come to pay them, it should be a problem. Of course, after we do the correct approval of the meeting and the minutes and the bill and such. So I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I'm pretty sure everything should be okay. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to add to 10.2? Nope. Okay. Hearing none, seeing none. So let's go. Oh my goodness, I lost my agenda.
For these meetings, we don't need to meet quorum, do we?
For these meetings right here?
C.A.E.B, yeah.
Yeah, we have to meet quorum, yeah.
Do we meet quorum with us 5 being on the call?
Yes, we met quorum today.
Only, right now the C.A.E.B officer, so that's Mark, Aisha, and myself. That's who is required to make quorum.
Okay, awesome. Just making sure.
Thank you.
Thank goodness we met quorum, right? We wouldn't be doing this. Oh my gosh.
Next is committee reports.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. Yeah. I lost my, go ahead, go. I lost my agenda. I'm like, it just completely went away real quick. All right, any committee reports?
Yes, so for the mental health committee, so I was able to reach out to the nurse Camelia, if I'm pronouncing her, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing her name correct, and she was very willing to collaborate with the mental health committee. She asked us when we will meet so she could pop in and see how we could collaborate to work on the workshop event. So today I'm gonna be reaching to the members that have already been appointed to see if they could meet on Monday, like what time they can meet on Monday. Another thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask Mario to see if he can send me the emails for the club members. And tomorrow I'll reach out to each one of them individually and see if they would like to also collaborate on the mental health workshop. That way they're also involved.
Awesome. Any other committee reports?
Lori put hers in the chat.
Yeah, I see that. So
well, that's not a committee report. That's a club report, but I don't know.
Yeah. Naomi, was you gonna say something?
I was thinking about like student senate committees, but then I was like, that's probably not relevant at this meeting. So
right. Okay.
No
cool.
report.
All right, no report. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to board member reports and announcements. This time is reserved for board members to inform the board about relevant campus-wide events and to report any pertaining to community progress and activities. A time of 3 minutes per report shall be reserved, and that's when, if the other members would have got the correct link, we would find out what's going on with their clubs. But trust me, that is my fault. I will make sure that it is sent out to everybody. Mario, this again, like I said, this is gonna be the same link. So I did receive that little small list of clubs and emails. So I want to make sure I'm gonna send it out to every president, vice president, and advisor. That this is the meeting for C.A.E.B, and then send one, maybe Naomi, just a suggestion, maybe if we can, if you send one on from your end as Student Senate, so that way they know the difference, because maybe there's some clubs that want to join Student Senate and not C.A.E.B, the meetings. So possibly do that. I see it in the chat, Lori just put another Prop 16 rally at Capitol South Steps this Friday, October 16th from 3 to 4. Yep, I saw that. I got the email on that as well from Region 2.
And MUN is meeting today at 12:30. Woo.
Awesome.
I also have something to add. I've been in contact with the app CALM, so I'm trying to see if we can get discounts, and that will be an item on the agenda on Monday meeting.
Awesome. Is there any other announcements, reports, board member reports or anything? No? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. We shall move on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the clubs and events board on issues already appearing on the agenda. A limited 2 minutes per speaker shall be reserved and a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Clubs and Events Board may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact ASB C.A.E.B President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. This time, is there any public comment? Okay, hearing none and seeing none. We'll go ahead and move on to everybody's favorite part of the whole entire meeting, adjournment. So this meeting will be adjourned at 11:22. And we'll go ahead and